Hello 3 designers and welcome to another demonstration of 3Design jewelry software. This is Joshua St. John, 3Design NYC from the forums, and today I'm going to walk you through the construction of a 5-stone band. Alright, so as always we're going to create a new part and immediately save it as 5-stone demo. Great. And the next thing we're going to do is look at it from top view and make sure we get on the OXZ plane, go into the jeweler's bench and select ring size builder. Place that in this plane, change it to a size 7 and validate. Perfect. The next thing we're going to do is select our stone, so we need to choose a different plane. Let's take a look at this for a second. If we keep it selected on this plane and we choose the stone orientates itself towards that plane. Now I could leave the function and redo it, or I can just go to reference plane, hit the little hand, and voila, it's facing the right direction now. Change it to a 20 pointer, 0.20, and validate. This stone is going to give us the size reference for our next step as we make a sketch on the OXZ plane, and we zoom in. We're going to first just make some reference geometry. First, actually, I'm going to freeze the stone and then make some reference geometry. I want off of this side to be, let's see, length of 0.6. That's good. And then off of the bottom, let's say 1 millimeter. Perfect. Alright, and then from here I want to come out to 1.6, and the same from here. Next thing I'm going to do is use the arc tool. Place it anywhere. I'm going to adjust it after. And that looks pretty good to me. Okay. We're going to, I'm actually just going to delete the reference geometry that I put on them. I don't need that. And that allows me to use this function, the auto connection, which connects all of that, and then mirror that across the center plane and validate. Alright. So now looking at it from the front, we see we have the stone coming up slightly above. The stone coming up slightly above the profile, and it's going to extend out about just under 1 millimeter on the girdle. Okay, the next thing I want to do is add some fillets here, so I'm going to select the fillet. We'll go to 0.25, let's say, or 0.3, it's fine. Fillet that, that looks good to me. And bring the top to 0.5, see what that does. Looks good, and looks good. Perfect. Okay, now I want 2 cross sections, so I'm going to copy this one using the move function, keeping original, and bringing it down ever so slightly. From there, I'm going to adjust my second section by pulling up 4.5 there, and I'm going to pull over over to the next solid line. So we'll go to there. Angling down slightly. Perfect. So right now these should have the same amount of control points because they were made from the same piece, and that'll be helpful a little later on. So I'm done with this sketch, and I'm going to exit, and I'm going to create my shank now using the sweeping wizard, clicking on the ring size builder, and then adding my first section as this one. I'm also going to put a mirror on the vertical plane, as well as move it away to about there. That looks perfect. I'm going to add my second section. However, I'm going to change the section to this one and bring that one down towards the bottom. This one I am also going to scale slightly. I don't want this ring to be so heavy. Turning off ratio. I'm going to click on 4 and then height of 2.6. That should do it. Let's preview it. See how that looks. Alright, and validate. Nice. So I have I've achieved a scooped out look without using the scooping tool, which we went over on the simple ring exercise, but it is an adjustable scoop. For instance, if I click in here now and I am to pull up slightly on this and recalculate, it's going to raise the scoop deeper. So if that's one place you can go back to and control the weight a little later on. Alright, so I'm going to exit the freestyle mode, the sketch, and hide this for the time being and make a new sketch on the OXY plane. Zooming in here, I need to make a square just smaller than the stone itself, and I want the center to end up right in the center of the drawing. There we go. I also want to round these corners a little bit with the radius of, let's see, 1.5 looks 0.5 looks good. Validate that. Exit this sketch and click on that square we just drew, and we're going to extrude it. Sweeping direction is going to be -1, and sweeping distance will go 6. And we'll taper it by 3 degrees in the outward direction. Preview what that looks like. It's perfect. And we can hide that for the time being as well. I'm going to bring back my my ring, and I'm going to do a little maintenance, hiding this, hiding the sketch, just leaving that square out. It's perfect for now. And I'm going to open up a special effects drawer, and I'm going to use a cut and delete. Doesn't matter so much what side I keep in this case. I just want to cut it on the OXZ plane, so along a plane, OXZ, and validate. And then do the same thing, clicking first on the plane, and then cut and delete will automatically select the function that I want. Select the object by hitting the hand, and in this case I want to keep the top section, so I'm going to keep the other side. Keep, delete, and there we go. I'm going to do an extract curve from the curves drawer. Perfect. And now I'm going to go open up my cut and delete. Underneath I see another cut and delete, and then I see my sweeping wizard. I'm going to right click on the sweeping wizard and create a reference object. Once I have done that, I can delete the cut and delete. And I do not need to retrieve the elements. All I was after was this curve right here. It's a half right in the center, and that is where I'm going to run my channel. And that's what I'm going to do. Go back to the jeweler's bench, go to jeweling, and choose stone channel. This is a great function. First thing I want to do is the spread strategy. I'm going to make it symmetrical to middle. Now if you notice, the stone number just doubled. That'll make sense in a minute. I'll get to that. The wall, the end, I want to be rounded. And that's it. Next I'm going to move to stone size. See, under number of stones it says 5. But right now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stones. Wonder why that would be. I chose symmetric to middle. So there's my first stone. There's my second stones. Third stones, fourth stones, and fifth stones. It's a mirror, and the first one, since it's on 0, counts as the first stone. The 2 stones next to it are the second stone. So now I want to make a 5-stone ring. If I change this to 3, I end up with my 5 stones. Hope that makes sense to you. I'm going to change the stone size to 0.2, 20 pointer, and I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to step back to channel path for a second. I want the minimum spacing to be 0.15. That's the space in between the stones. There we go. And channel shape is next. I can click here and it will zoom me in. I want to make my girdle for my groove 0.1. You'll see right here it'll become squarish. So 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. I end up with this nice square girdle. I could even do 0.15 there. That's perfect. And then the depth of this, I want to come just below, just above, that is the cutelet of the stone. Perfect. And validate. Alright, so now I have the stone cutter, the channel cutter, excuse me, and the shank. The next thing that I need to do is to cut the air holes with my extrusion. And the way I'm going to achieve that, I will hide the cutter and the shank, click on that curve I extracted and the extrusion, leave the jeweler's bench, and then go into duplicate, choosing graduated duplication, and you see I get these positioned along this curve. Got to change a few preferences here. I'm going to change fixed duplication number till 5. Turn margins on. Let's just try 10 and 10 to start. And also change it from use position origin to centers on the curve. And validate. Now if I look at it from the top, you see it's sticking out of my cutter a little bit. That's going to be a problem. So I think what I'm going to do is I want to see where these stones are actually going to sit. So I'm going to hide the shank, I'm going to hide my air hole cutters, and I'm going to show this stone I drew originally. And using a tool in the jeweler's bench, under Advanced Functions, under Jeweling, use Jeweling, and position the stones. See how this looks? Validate. Perfect. Now I want to show my graduated duplication, and you see I want these to be coming basically through the centers of all the stones. So I double click back, brings me into the graduated duplication, and I'll just use my track wheel and slowly work it into the center of the stone. So I think 10.6 is good. Do that to both sides, 10.6. Great. Validate that. And now let's construct this ring, shall we? So I'm going to show the sweeping wizard. From the sweeping wizard, I'm going to show the stone channel. I'm going to do a subtraction of the stone channel from the shank using special effects, Boolean subtract, being careful which order I select. Now if you notice here, my cutter has gone a bit too deep. So there's two things I need to fix. The first being, I can show the sketch. Double click back on it, brings me in. Double click here, and I'm going to lower this down by about 0.4. Validate that. Recalculate. Now, that is good, but I also am going to open up the Boolean operation, go into stone channel, and bring the depth of the cutter up higher as well, say to there, and validate. I want the thickness of the space between the raise and the cutter for the channel to be at least 0.6. So I think that should achieve it, but I'll go back and double check at the end. Let me show my graduated duplication now, and that goes through entirely. Click on the shank first, then the duplication, and do another subtraction. Perfect. We'll show the stones, and we're, believe it or not, just about done with this ring. I just want to check on some last details for the construction and and add some final touches, and we've made a really nice and very saleable, I feel, 5-stone ring. Alright, so I'm gonna do the cut and delete again. Cut and delete along a plane, this plane, validate, and do the same along this plane. Cut and delete, validate. Now what I'm after is this length right here. I need to know that, so I'm going to make a sketch really quick on that plane, and I'm going to extract this curve and this curve, validate that. I can hide a bunch of stuff. I can take my cut and delete now all the way back to the Boolean operation and make the reference object and delete the cut and delete. Don't need that. And hide the shank. So I'm left with these two lines. This one I'll turn properties on in the tools menu. 0.76. and this one 0.51. So the second one is a bit short for me, concerns me a little bit. So I can always go back to my sketch or my stone channel and bring the stone channel up another 0.2 or 0.3 millimeter. It's not going to make a difference in the look of the stone, I mean the look of the ring, but it will give me the thickness that I need. And we show now, and that is good. Alright, finally, to finish up this ring, I'm going to add some fillets, hiding a bunch of the sketches just because they're not needed now, and I'm going to hide the axis and planes as well. I'm going to show the stones. Click on the ring and select fillet. Go to the inner side, select all 5 of the air holes, and keep those at 0.5 and validate. See, it gives me the nice rounded effect. And then on the top, select fillet again, this time choosing the edge, and bring that to, let's try 0.2 and validate, and we get that nice rounded effect. So there you have it. We've made a 5-stone ring, and it could easily be adapted into a 7-stone, 9-stone, even a full eternity. I'd love to see you guys get up on the forums, post some modifications, maybe try it in a princess. There's a lot you can do using this method. So yeah, any questions that you have, post them on the forum. I'd love to hear back from you, and hope you enjoyed this little demonstration of a 5-stone ring. Again, Joshua St. John, 3Design NYC, and we'll be back real soon with some more educational demos. Thanks.